Hi lovelies, hope you're okay. Today I'm going to do a nail design using transfer foils and Madam Glam Gel. And I did say I would do a video on transfer foils, so it's not going to be completely in depth because I'm only using the one. But I've seen quite a lot of people struggling with transfer foils, so I'm going to do a few bits I've picked up along the way as I go on with it, and you never know. Hopefully things will go a bit wrong so I can show you what's wrong and how we can put it right. But we'll see how we go. So I've got a short nail set today, but I still want to incorporate some French with the foils as well. So transfer foils are a game changer if you can sort it. But I'll give you, like I said, some little tips as we go along. So Madam Glam I'm going to use are... Do you remember they sent me these 4? But I want to use, I've been dying to use this sort of sparkly. And I'm going to use a transfer foil that you wouldn't normally expect to put with these, which by now you'll have seen on the thumbnail. But it's this one. So I showed it in a recent haul, so it's a bit cheetah printy with pink flowers. Because we can have flowers at any time of year. Don't matter. No more leaves today, just flowers. And so what I'll do is set them all up with the base coat and then we'll come back and put some colour on. While they're in the lamp, I'll just show you how I work sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Like that is the Beetlejuice nails that I did. And I just printed off these sheets that have got like long coffin and stiletto and some square. And I'm doing each hand the same, so I only need to use the 5, so I'm just going to use this. So that other set's been and gone. And then I just sit and I look at my colours and I think, what am I going to do here? So anyway, so what I've done is I've just trimmed that down. Let's bring the camera down here a bit. Right. So I've just trimmed that down a bit, so we've got the coffins. And I want to get some French in there, but they're quite short nails. So I think I'm going to do a French on the thumb, because that's always nice. So then we'll have one on the ring finger. So we've got thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky. And now I'm going to do all foil on the index on the lightest colour, which is blue Jolie. That under the French is going to be blue Jolie, and that one under there is going to be bright blue. So then I think I'll do pink. The pink I'm going to do Rosy Nude. Same there. Now I think I want all foil on the bright blue. I might do all foil on that one, bright blue there. And the pinky, should we wait and see till we've looked at them? Yeah, we'll do that. So I'll get these done. So what I normally do is, if I'm doing press-ons, is paint the ones that are going to need the foils first, because I like to put the foil glue on and then leave them to sit. I've even been and had my tea and come back and it's worked a treat. And my battery's running out. Marvellous. Now, when I do the foils, bear with me. If you are the bee's knees at foils. You might even be better than me with foils. And you're not interested in the whys and wherefores and tips and tricks, you know, just skip on a little bit at a time, because there might be something that you didn't know, or you might know it all and not need it. But this is really for those that, you know, they need a little bit of help sometimes. Because let's face it, I've been 3 years practicing. So if I haven't cracked some of it by now, there's something wrong. I'll get some liner brushes lined up. I'll get my big paint palette. Get my big palette. I'll get my big paint palette because I'm going to be doing quite a bit. I might bring some silver or gold into it. It might be bright enough as it is. Or, yeah, let's see. Anyway, so I've got to decide on what I'm going to do foils on. So I think what I'll paint first is the one that is all foil, which is these two. So one is in bright blue and one is in, oh, I can't see it up there with my glasses. One's in bright blue and one's in that blue Jolie. So I'll have blue Jolie first. So they've all been base coated. This is a stunning colour. Gorgeous. Love that. When I've finished doing all the typing I've got to do, I might be able to do my nails. But I just can't type with them on. I just can't. So I've been doing so much trying to get the website done and all sorts of things. You see, there's a bit of a chill in the air today. In fact, the heating came on this morning, which it's not done for a while, which means it had dropped below 19 degrees, and I'm dead nesh, so I love having the warmth of the heating on, but you've got to think about the money as well, haven't you? Because I know, I don't care where you are, I think prices have gone up just like mad. Everybody thinks it's their own country, but I'm sure it's everywhere. We knew we'd have to pay for COVID and different things somehow, but anyway, if they can make more money, you know, these billionaires. Yeah, get off my soapbox. So, I knew this was going to be a chatty one. I'm just feeling that way out. So I've got those done. So I need to have a look at which else. Now, the ones, I'm leaving the pinky, obviously, to wait and see what I want to do. So the ones that I have in the French, I don't want to paint them all in pink and then paint the French on top, because the French are going to have transfer foil on, and obviously you've got another layer of gel and you've got the foil on top as well. So I don't want there to be too much of a ridge. So I'm actually going to have to hand paint that French. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the colours first and then fill the pink in after. So if you're doing it on your own nails, you'd probably want to do the pink first, actually. So you can work around there and then use a clean-up brush around the bottom. But which one am I doing in? Right, so the thumb is going to be in. No, it's not. Hold on. So that's 5. That's, so the thumb's going to be in bright blue. So, if you're frightened of painting the lines, just remember to roll your brush in it so that it's really soaked it up. And then do it so you haven't got a big blob on the end. And work out where you want to start. Now some people do the line across and all that sort of thing, but I work out where I want to be from the top first and about where I want to be at the bottom. So I want to go to about there, but from about here. So I'm just making sure that top bit's in first, and then I can keep coming further in until I get where I want to be. That's it. And same from the other side. That's it. And fill it in, so I can swap to my normal brush now if I want. But like this. But it's very thick, this glitter, look. So I'm better off on the palette. It's very thick because it's jam-packed with glitter. So do it like this. And I'm anchoring that finger on there, but you could do it on your other fingers if you're painting your own hand. So now I can see. I'm going to bring that slightly higher. So I can see it all the way around. Yeah, happy with that. Now if I can get away with one coat when I'm putting transfer foil on, then I will. But it's a fairly full cover, this foil. If it was clear, you'd have to make sure it's absolutely spot on. But I'm just going to look at that the other way up. Sometimes it looks a bit different, you see. That needs to come up more. There we go, so one coat will do for that. So the most difficult you'll find is the one where you're doing the full nail, because of the shape of the nail, because they're not going to be flat. It's not like doing it onto a flat board. You've got the rounded that way, and then you've also got it that way. So that's what makes it difficult. And the longer it is, sometimes the more difficult it is. But I use this. Somebody said, what do I use? And I've always used this. Well, I'm saying always. I have tried others, but this one is the one that I always settle back to. And a few things to note is, everybody says to wipe off the tacky layer. I don't always. If I've got time to leave them a long time, then I don't. It just kind of melds together. It's not really been a problem. But if you are having trouble, I'll tell you that way. Wipe it. Get all that sticky layer off. If there is any. There might not be much of one. But a lot of this depends on your polishes and your foils as well. Now, a couple of tips. Paint it as if you are putting your gel on. People say to pull it really, really thin, but don't. Don't pull it really thin. Just put a decent amount in the middle like that. And then spread that all over. If you're taking off again, right, so the thing about wiping it is it'll go slightly duller and then you'll be able to see where you've been. But I make sure I've gone right at the edge, right at the top, down that edge and across the end. And then I go all the way over it again just to make sure it's super smooth. Some foil glues will leave brush marks and that's a nightmare. As I move that, I can see some bit of a pimply bit there, so I'm just going to drag again. And that's super smooth now. Not missed any. That's your main thing. And that wants exactly 60 seconds in my lamp. But you try your lamps, you might be better with 45 seconds or 60. Same again with this in the middle. And then I'm going to go all the way around the edges. Right at the end. And when I'm doing tips, if I've painted a lot of colour or used builder gel, I file the end after to make sure it's super smooth. But when I'm using foils, I don't want to file over that end once I've done it. I don't want to leave any raw edge. So again, I can see, because that's super shiny. So if you're saying to me, that's what I do all that and I still can't do it. Here's another tip for you. Give it a second coat. If you're unsure whether you've missed or not, it's not going to hurt putting another, but maybe thinner coat on. So it'll be slightly matte when it comes out of the lamp. Can you see where I'm missing? So I'll know in a minute that I've covered the entire nail all over again. So now these can be left while I faff about with the rest of the nails. So if you're doing them on your own nails, obviously, you don't want to do this foil glue and then put your hand back in the lamp with the other gels on. So I would probably, in that situation, make sure you've got something lined up on your Netflix or something and just sit until it's time to put your foil glue on. You can wait till the end. Make sure your others are all done, top coated, job done, and you've just got your 2 nails to do. Just paint them and have your cuppa. But the more precise you are with this, the easier you're going to find it. So make sure that one's out. And so I don't get confused, if you are making press-ons, the one you've put foil glue on, turn it sideways. You're not going to mess about and get it back in the lamp, because I've done that before now. Now these are only having foil at the bottom, but there's a bit of base coat on the top anyway, so I don't want to have to wipe that off before I've put my pink on. So I'm going to put my pink on next. And I think I'm possibly deciding, oh gosh, there's a lot on that brush. I think I'm possibly deciding that I want to do the little one in pink, but we'll wait and see. I'll use this long brush again. It's a bit of, oh no, it's oil. So mix that up. Sorry if I'm rabbiting too much, but you notice, obviously, I stop whenever I'm painting a line. So 2 coats of that on both of those. So they've all got the foil glue on, and also I painted the French on these, and I've wiped with tacky layer and then just painted around the French again, exactly the same with the line brush with the foil glue, but just on the blue bit. So now they're sat sideways waiting for me, and I'm going to use, no, I'm not going to use them. going to use this one with flowers on. So I try not to handle it too much. And I'm just going to cut some off there. So if you don't know which side is which on your transfer foil, you've picked it up and put it down that many times, you're like, oh no. The less shiny is the bit that goes down to the nail, and then the other side will be really shiny. So you'll be able to know, but it is more difficult on some than others, so I can understand you asking. I know a couple of people had asked in chats and things like that. Not particularly on mine, but when I'm looking at other stuff. And I try and remember when people bring up questions, because I think, well, anybody could need to know that. So that's the one I'm going to use. But while they're all sitting, because it doesn't matter how long they sit really, I'm going to have a go with this one. And I think I've decided I want it to be all pink. So in my time, this is going to be another 2 or 3 minutes. So I'll be back in a sec. So let's have a go with this. I'm not sure whether I ought to take my gloves off. I might get in a bit of a faff. But this is the foil that I'm going to use. So it's like a leopardy print, but with the flowers on. Can't even remember if I've shown you that yet. But what I'm going to do is, I've seen people say stretch it, pull it taut, but it won't really stretch. So it won't go round the corners. You have to do a little bit of a jiggery pokery with it. And leave yourself enough to hold the ends and try not to touch it too much with your fingers. I've seen some people wipe the back with alcohol, but if you do it extremely lightly, because otherwise you're going to take that pattern off. I never wipe the back with alcohol. So I want these big flowers here on there, so it's going to go kind of off the corner really. And I'm going to concentrate on the bottom 2/3 because it tapers off at the back. So I'm going to concentrate on the front 2/3 like this. I want it slightly offset. And then I'm going to pull it as taut as I can at the bottom. Like that. Now, if your foil's done a good job, you'll see it starting to lift already. So you can use a silicone tool or you can use your fingers, and make sure I'm right across that edge. And we'll see if it starts to lift. This is the difficulty on tips, is because it might come off the stand. So it'll kind of change colour a little bit when it's, well, some of them, when you know it's stuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off to make it a bit easier. If I can get it off, yeah. Oh, it's still got the glue under it. Oh, never mind. But I'm going to squeeze and press at the bottom. Just at the bottom, and see if it's coming off. So can you see it's kind of clean there, but not there, and that's because we're concentrating on the bottom. But now I've lifted it, I can lay that flatter now up there. So it doesn't matter about this bit, that's done. Same with this one. And that swap sides. Oh, wish my glue tack had come off. Squeeze that bottom there and make sure this side's done. Now, I want that rose to be complete, so I'm going to work on that. So I'm going to hold that in place, lift the side, and make sure that rose is complete. So push over the edge, and we'll see if that's lifted. No, there's tiny little bits of pink. Can you see it? So I'm going to use the hardest bit on the side. That's it. But hopefully we've got that big rose there. That's almost clean. So again, I'm just going to hold it, make sure it's not moved, And make sure them little rosebuds are on that side. And hopefully I've got a pretty complete little bouquet of flowers. So hold it until you've lifted to make sure you've got it all. Some tiny bits might still stay on your backing paper because that's where you had a crease. Creases are inevitable. Don't panic about that. So there we go. So from the bottom, there we are. Gently, gently. And that's that. So I've squished all my thing. Let's see if I can get that back on there. That's it. But I would say it's not done that little bottom bit there, so I'm going to just squeeze that bottom corner a bit more. As long as I've not took all that tacky off with my gloves, I'll be alright. That's it. There we go. So it's always a faff. Don't expect it not to be a faff at all, because it always is. But that's that one. Now I'm doing the round the French. So it should be slightly easier to not have creases where it's going around the French. I want to make sure I've got a couple of roses around that bottom. So maybe those, like this. Again, squeeze it down. And I want that big rose is the most important bit. So I always found these easier to do on my own fingers, to be honest. And again, make sure I'm down there. I'm really sorry if I keep jumping because I've gone out of frame. It's difficult when you're not on Eve or something. There we go. I've got that around the French, so I'll do the other two and then we'll decide what I'm doing on little finger. So I decided on this one that I'm just going to put a full foil over it, and what I've done is I've left the tacky layer on, I've put a coat of foil glue on, and then I'll put the transfer on top of that, but I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes. I'm going to fetch myself a cup of tea. So I'm back, but do you know it's actually been overnight since I put that foil gel on. So let's see. So non-shiny side down. Oh, it's on there, so I'll have to just do it. Right, so I'll pop it on this side first. Like that. In frame, yes. So I'll take it off so I can, please don't bring the glue, no. Take it off so I can really squeeze it. See that rose, it's only left the teeny tiniest little bit. So so look at this. There we go. So So don't worry about leaving it for a long time. That's done lovely. So I'm happy with that. Now I've got a bit more colour on that one as well. So I'm just going to do some liner. So I've got the two blues on there, the light and the dark. And I'm just going to go around the opposing French. So I'll speed this up. Two little string bows. I love that against the blue, don't you? And this should come to life now as well. So, thanks again to Madam Glam for sending me these things through. I hope you've enjoyed it, everybody. And welcome to any new subscribers. Thank you to those that have been here since the beginning. I love you loads. If you click the subscribe if you've not done so already, and if you have got anything from this at all, even if it's just a little bit of enjoyment, then please don't forget to click the like. And I will be back to you very, very soon. So in the meantime, take care, look after each other, and I'll see you soon. Love you loads. Bye.